Welcome back, book lovers, to another review on SmartBookWorms, the channel where we dive deep into the most intriguing reads. Today, we're taking a look at the latest psychological thriller from Jean Hanff Korelitz, the sequel. If you loved her previous novel, The Plot, you're in for another twisting ride. But if you haven't read it yet, don't worry. This book stands on its own and offers plenty of thrills. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Anna Williams-Borner, a character many of you might remember from The Plot, returns in the sequel, but not exactly in the way you'd expect. Following the death of her husband, literary sensation Jacob Finch-Borner, Anna should be living the quiet life of a grieving widow. Instead, she finds herself thrust back into the literary spotlight, though not entirely by choice. Her husband's editor and agent offer her a residency at an artist colony in New England, an invitation she begrudgingly accepts. She's been doing her part to promote Jacob's last novel, The Final Chapter, when she casually lets slip at one of these literary events that she's thinking about writing a novel of her own. This offhand comment sets a chain of events in motion. While at the retreat, Anna mocks the entire process of writers' retreats and the supposed angst writers feel. She's in her element, dismissive, cynical, and razor-sharp in her wit. But amidst this self-satisfaction, something dawns on her. Why shouldn't she write? After all, if Jacob was so successful, surely she could do just as well, if not better. Back in her New York apartment, she takes that sudden flash of inspiration and writes the afterword, a novel inspired by her own life, and more specifically, her experience with a beloved suicide. The novel captures the hearts of readers, particularly those who have faced grief, and before long, Anna is on her own book tour, signing copies and basking in her newfound success. It's here, in Denver, that the suspense kicks in. Among the piles of books she's been signing, a small post-it note catches her attention. It reads, "For Evan Parker, not forgotten." This message might fly over the heads of new readers, but for those familiar with the plot, it's a bombshell. Evan Parker, you see, was the man whose unpublished work Jacob Finch-Borner had borrowed, a theft that formed the heart of the plot. But Evan Parker is dead, or so Anna believed. So, who's leaving these notes? Who knows her darkest secret? What the sequel does masterfully is balance the tension between moving forward and rehashing the past. It's tricky to pull off a sequel to a story where much of the excitement came from shocking twists and revelations. But Korelitz understands this challenge and navigates it skillfully. While Anna's past threatens to catch up with her, the story introduces new threads and new mysteries, keeping the tension alive without bogging the reader down with unnecessary recaps. We're given just enough reminders to keep the plot coherent without retreading too much old ground. As Anna digs deeper into the mystery of who might be harassing her, she starts to wonder if it could be someone from her past. Perhaps one of Jacob's former students, someone who once knew Evan Parker. Or maybe it's the lawyer she hired back in Georgia from her past life when she inherited her family home after her brother's tragic death. Anna, being as calculating as ever, systematically investigates each possibility, but as she does, things begin to take a darker turn. People who get too close to her secret don't seem to stay alive for very long. It's not the first time we're reminded that Anna is far from innocent. She's methodical, cold, and unflinching when it comes to protecting herself, even if it means someone else's life is on the line. Korelitz weaves in clever details about the world of publishing and writing that will be particularly fun for readers familiar with the industry.
The chapters are even named after famous sequels of other well-known novels, adding a layer of meta-commentary on the nature of follow-up works in literature. A significant clue in the plot comes from something as simple as an SASE, a self-addressed stamped envelope, a tool used by writers sending out manuscripts to agents and editors before everything went digital. For those who remember those days, it's a nice little nod to the old school days of publishing. But beyond these insider references, the sequel is a fast-paced, intricately plotted thriller that keeps the pages turning. It taps into themes of ambition, guilt, and the lengths people will go to protect their carefully crafted lives. Jean Hanff Korelitz has crafted another intelligent, suspenseful read, and while it lives in the shadow of the plot, it more than holds its own. If you're a fan of psychological thrillers with complex characters and sharp twists, the sequel won't disappoint. Korelitz keeps you guessing not just about who's threatening Anna, but about how far Anna is willing to go to protect her secret. Thanks for tuning in to Smart Bookworms. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the best reads of the year. And as always, drop a comment below if you've read the sequel or if you're planning to pick it up. See you next time.